The European Tour touched down in Malmö, Sweden earlier this month for the Nordic Masters, and back in his home country, it was a landmark week for Robert Karlsson. He was playing in his 501st European Tour event, something which seemed a distant dream when he first teed it up in Europe over 2 decades ago.
One of the first weeks we were out, I remember Mats Lanner, who's now referee on tour, we were out on dinner and he said that it was his 10th year on tour. Just 10 years on tour, I can't even see that far, and now it's my 24th, so no, didn't expect 500.
In a hugely successful career on the European Tour, Karlsson won 11 times. He's been ranked as high as number 6 in the world and played in 2 Ryder Cups. But it's his Order of Merit triumph in 2008 which makes him most proud.
I had a very, very good spell at the end of the year. I won at Mercedes Championship in Cologne. Then I won downhill after Ryder Cup, and I finished third in Portugal, so it came to a lot of money, a lot of points right at the end of the season. Back then we finished in end of October as well in Valderrama. So it kind of came very quickly because it was probably my last 4 of my last 5 events that kind of sealed the thing. So not really. I knew I had a very good season going because I played very well over the May and June period, but it was a year when Portugal won 2 majors as well, so obviously he was chasing quite good, and so was Westwood.
2 years later, he had another outstanding year, winning in Qatar at the start of 2010 and again in Dubai at the season-ending World Tour Championship. But within 2 years of that, he was struggling.
Yeah, I mean, I just got into some bad habits over the year. Started to think too much about the swing, and I didn't think too much about it then, but what it actually started with was I started to kind of take decisions over the ball, and then it just got longer and longer and longer, and then you never feel ready. And after a while, it's you just can't pull the club away because you don't feel like you kind of, I'm not ready, I don't know what to do. And so I just it was the British Open 2012. I decided not to play after I played a couple of practice rounds, but just no, it wasn't good enough. So I decided to kind of have a fresh start and start from the beginning, and started to work with a completely new routine and just try to break the pattern that I'd created over a longer period of time.
And so started the slow journey back to getting comfortable again over the ball and resuming his career.
I spoke to a lot of people. One thing, I mean, obviously helps to have other players that have gone through similar things, like Sergio. I talked to him a little bit, and they have a mental coach that I worked with, and I just sat down and also decided to take a step away from the type of routine I was doing. So I decided to take the decision behind and then sort of kind of clear the mind over the ball, and I decided look up to the target, look back and go. And if I kind of missed it, I started from the beginning again. So I didn't want to ever start standing over the ball longer again. So I just went up, looked down to the ball, and I started with the ball on the tee with just a 30-yard shot just to get it going. And I talked to Sergio about it, and he said the problem we have as golfers, we don't really have enough downtime. Because if we have started getting into these sort of bad patterns, we need time to break them, because it takes time to break it. And what I did, I started with the ball on the tee peg and just chipping it down the fairway. And when I felt comfortable with that, I just took away the tee and I kind of built it up from there. And then when I felt fine on the range, I went to the course and I played with some friends on the course, and I played practice rounds and then tournaments, and kind of built it up again. But it's not easy, it takes time.
Robert's now back to playing with a much more positive outlook, and he's relishing the challenge of climbing back up the rankings and competing like the Karlsson of old.
It's the fun of it. Also trying to get better. I really like the challenge to see get better, get back, win the golf tournaments again, and play really good golf. And so that's good.
With his work ethic and his talent, there may well be more tournament victories for this former European #1.